Are we definitely on hogCAST 35?
Well, the last one was 34, so yeah.
Okay, cool. No, I didn't know that.
You
The
were
numbers?
Liz.
I mean, I'm not a maths whiz, but I'm pretty sure.
I mean, technically, we're on hogCAST like 40 something with the specials as well.
You think of all the technological capacity he's got on that space station?
Yeah.
Work that out. Now we know we can defeat the alien invasion. Now.
Yeah. Just doing numbers. They're fucked.
We don't use numbers. We're way beyond that, man.
They've all got dyspraxia. None of them can add up.
That's got to be the intro to this hogCAST. Got to be the intro. It does. Bonjour.
Bonjour.
Chaps, how are we? All good? Everybody's happy?
Yeah,
all good.
It's taters and it's been a while, isn't it? You know what I'm like.
Not been that long. Hey, listen, we do know what you're like. It could have been 3 days. You still would have forgot.
It's space tater. It's space tater. And,
that's it.
Bonjour, guys. No, good.
Bonjour.
And it's good. It's always good because it's especially good because we've got something good to talk about.
Yeah.
And I don't.
Absolutely.
I know Liz has seen it twice, so we'll start with our. And it's going to be, spoiler alert. I think this is going to be a lot of praise for the Deadpool Wolf. We're all calling it Deadpool Wolverine, aren't we?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I know I instantly do. So, should I kick it off?
Go for it.
Yeah, crack on.
More than pleasantly surprised that they third time lucky. Like I've said to you guys before, the first film, because I've been a comic fan, not a fan of the character, and I said with the first film, I said, no, that's good. I said the character is a one-trick pony, and when the second film come out, it was like, oh, I was going, oh, and they did it again.
Yep.
And the third time round, I know we've waited a long while because of, locking down the world and stuff, but God, they've done it.
But don't you feel that might have helped them? Don't you feel that actually having that lockdown might have helped them? Having that little bit of extra time to stew on things? Because they done some prior. I mean, if I remember Liz saying they did some of the principal photography prior to lockdown.
No, it wasn't lockdown. It was prior to the strike.
Oh, sorry. Yes, strikes. Oh, yes. Strike. Yes. Well done. There we go. I knew it was prior to something. But yeah, don't you think that bit of time might have actually helped them hone it all in and actually get it down? Because
you're spot on, Taters. And another thing that's helped on that same in that same vein is the fact that this is one of only a couple of Marvel releases this year. So we're excited. But
well, it's the only Marvel film this year, isn't it? Really?
Yeah.
Like MCU.
We'll talk about the Sony. We'll talk about the Sony one later. But
isn't Captain America out later this year?
Yeah, but what I'm saying is we haven't had a Marvel film like an MCU film. Normally, we'd have had 2 this year already.
Jesus,
do you know what I mean?
Yeah. We'd have had 2 films and 7 TV shows.
The last one that came out was the Marvels, and that was November last year, November or December last year. So it's been nice to have a break from Marvel in general. I know there was Secret Invasion, but was that last year as well? That wasn't it?
Yeah.
Secret Invasion was last year as well. So we've had a nice break. So I think that has helped it massively.
We all needed it.
We need more though, really, don't we? I mean, I think the tides are turning. I really do. From everything I've seen post Deadpool Wolverine, I really do think the tides are turning. I mean, even from what we just had D23 a couple of days ago, and then obviously the San Diego Comic-Con a little while back.
Yeah.
And the Marvel, what is normally Kevin Feige comes on stage and he's got that big screen behind him and there's a timeline with like 10 billion shows coming. Didn't even have that this year. No. Wasn't even up. didn't even get projected onto the screen. All they talked about was their stuff coming up. What we got? We got Captain America.
Robert Downey Jr.'s helmet.
Yes, that highly polished helmet. But no, what did he talk about? He talked about Captain America, Agatha,
Fantastic Four,
Fantastic Four,
Blade, and then Avengers.
Thunderbolts, the Thunderbolts, Thunderbolts, and Ironheart. That was the other one.
Yeah, still pie in the sky. It's
yeah.
What I will say about one of those things one of you two just said. That's how quick my brain. You might as well call me geeky old goldfish.
Fantastic Four, Blade.
How good Wesley Snipes.
Yep.
In this movie.
Yeah.
As soon as he turned up, just how he looks, he wasn't doing anything, and he wasn't going. Oh, what's his name that was doing Gambit was going full on. Well,
he was fantastic.
I hope he was hamming it up a little bit, because if he wasn't, that's not what we want to see, is it?
No, that's Channing Tatum all over. He was definitely.
You want to see a whole movie of that, would you?
No.
And I know people are going online; they're going batshit crazy over Gambit, but they always have, because he's a niche character that.
Yeah.
And he's a good character, but
he's not a main character.
But as soon as I saw Wesley back, I thought, oh yeah, with a little bit of grunt and I thought, oh yes, I want to see Blade 4. I want to see you do Blade properly.
Like, well, Ryan Reynolds is petitioning to have a Logan style send off for Wesley Snipes' Blade.
Yeah,
good.
He's petitioning for that.
Good.
I don't think the character needs a send off. I just do another film.
Yeah,
I think it's a character that, like there is a debate now, isn't there, where you attach these actors to the character, and like i.e. Wolverine, Hugh Jackman. But I still maintain that if you're gonna, if X-Men is going back to Marvel from Fox, do a new X-Men, do a new Jean Grey, do a new.
But they have sort of hinted at that, haven't they? That after this, they have sort of hinted that after this next phase, that there's potentially going to be a soft reboot, and it's going to, because all these guys like Hugh Jackman, he started Wolverine in the 90s.
I like that in the film. And he goes, "They're going to make you do this till you're 90."
Yeah, but he started Wolverine in the 90s. He's been doing it best part of 30 years. It's just like they need really to do.
I called it the best replacement, and they did it in the film.
Absolutely, absolutely.
I called it
definitely
Henry Cavill, Cavalry.
Yeah.
I think it'll work.
Cavill would make anything work. I'm not being cynical about it.
Yeah.
I just don't think that Marvel just aren't going to take. It's a shame.
You saying that again, going back to all the stuff that's happening because now there's debates and arguments over the extended edition that they're potentially putting on Disney Plus in a few months' time.
Right.
Because there was another 2 scenes shot with Henry Cavill that never made it into that final edit, and now there's obviously lash between Sean Levy, Ryan Reynolds against Bob Iger and the board to not put those scenes in the extended edition. That Disney don't want it, and they're saying no, we do want it because it fits and it works, and we filmed it and it's great, and it's an extra. I think works out something like 3 minutes of footage. It's an extra couple of scenes of Henry Cavill. He has a fight with Hugh Jackman. There's another scene at the end where he joins that sort of little band where you've got Gambit and Blade and Elektra, and he's there as well. It's and they're talking about, no, we're going to put it in the extended version. And the board are saying no. I don't know what it is with Cavill that they don't like, but probably because he's popular.
Well, he's obviously popular with the fans, but you don't know behind the scenes, is he? Because of his passion. And that's what we all love. Come on, as fanboys.
Yeah, well, again, Ryan Reynolds.
that's the bit we love, right? But as a company trying to make a film, and I know I'm talking about Disney here, so this is kind of a bit weird that I'm saying you've got your film organised and you've got your script in hand. This isn't how Disney does their work, is it? But anyway, bear with me. So imagine you've got it all set up, but then you've got someone like Cavill that just goes, oh, and he goes like that, and he goes, nah, that don't happen like that. I want to change the. Is he just a spanner in the works to get things done?
From whose point of view? From theirs.
Yeah, from their point of view. Like he's not professional. He looks great on screen, but he's not professional. Because there's got to be something there that a major film company would not want to use Cavill to do anything. Like whatever character you've got, whatever alpha male character you've got, put a moustache on the bloke, or a hat, or a coat, or do his hair to look like Wolverine, and the bloke nails it.
Yeah.
So as a major film corporation company that wants to make your next production, why do you not want to use Henry? So I don't know whether there's a story there where he might be on set. He's the one that he doesn't moan about the script until he gets on set and everyone's dressed up and everyone's made up and he goes, no, I don't like that line of dialogue. And you've had months to debate with the director and all that. But he gets on set and now he's a bit.
You sound like you know something.
No, but I can't. That's my only reason. I might know. I wish I did.
Yeah.
But I can't help thinking that's the only reason Cavill isn't a mega star. Like beyond belief. That's the only reason. Why is that man? Like, my God, like he can play anything.
Yeah, he is that good. But people, it just seems to be.
He's a great actor. He's enthusiastic. He's a fanboy. He loves the source material. So what's the fly in the ointment that no one's talking about?
God knows.
I don't know. I still think he's the best role by far.
Definitely. I mean, I can't wait for. I know it's the Warhammer is a long way away, but he'll nail that. I mean, he is going to be so invested in that.
Absolutely.
That hopefully his enthusiasm will come across on the screen. Finally, but without him, I hope I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong, and he's not an arsehole on set.
See, I can't see it. He just doesn't come across the type.
No, I know. As I say it,
you know, I know he's an actor, and I know when he does interviews, he could possibly be playing a part. I just don't get it. I just don't get it from the man. I just don't. There's nothing about him that comes across as any level of arsehole. You know, it's
But anyway,
who knows? Who knows?
So what do you think about the film?
We spent a long while talking about that prick. He was about 5 seconds.
Yeah.
So, right, go on. So I started it off. Who wants to?
You didn't even finish what you actually thought of the film.
Sorry. Yeah. What do you think of the film? It's meant to be the Deadpool special, not the Cavill special. Yeah.
Deadpool, yay! No, I thought overall, I think it was the release we all needed. It was almost like popping a big zit, you know, one limb, big pussy one. And Deadpool popped it. The pus has been building up through phases 4 and 5. And Deadpool just went pop. And we relaxed, literally from the first few scenes.
Yeah.
Just ripping the arse out of everything.
Yeah.
And there's nothing that new fans won't find funny. And there's so much that us old grizzled bastards that we're almost anti-Marvel to a degree, but we thought, oh, you're taking the piss out of Marvel. Ooh. It gave us permission to enjoy Marvel again.
Yeah.
Because Deadpool, that's the whole shtick. And just as a little aside, that is what She-Hulk should have been doing.
Yeah. Yeah.
I know this is old news. I know this is old, very old news. But that's how She-Hulk should have gone at. Yep. Not just at men, not at men.
At everything.
But just at comic books, at the comic book universe, multiverses and different timelines and, you know, getting the TVA involved and all that shit. You know, what was that bit with a wig where he was talking about something? Oh, anyway. It just went on and on. It was like watching a comedy, a stand-up comedian whose jokes you can't quite keep up with. You're laughing. When you're laughing at one joke, he's telling you another one, but you missed that one and you're laughing at the next one after that.
Well, didn't she, again, if I remember rightly, she actually filmed some scenes for this. Brie Larson had scenes in this and they all ended up getting cut.
Yeah, good. Yeah.
I'm sure I remember reading somewhere that the She-Hulk was actually, they did film something or it was scripted and then got cut. But I know Brie Larson got the ump because her scenes have been taken out.
Yeah.
So it's just like, yeah.
Good. I mean, maybe put a bit of Ms. Marvel in there. Look, you could have probably dropped anything in there, and Ryan Reynolds and his team
would have run with it. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure he's got a nice team around him because
I'm just surprised they let him do it. I'm just surprised they let him do it.
I'm not,
because well, at first, but when they started filming it, and then the writer's strike happened, and they obviously had to stop filming, but they filmed a little bit more. And I was thinking, hang on a minute, because they resumed filming before the writer's strike ended. Now, technically, that means you can't improvise on set, and that's when that shines. So that's what I was really worried about, because they normally film a couple of different versions of the scenes with Ryan Reynolds because he just throws out random stuff. So I was a bit, when they just used the best one. So I was a bit worried by that, but you know, they fair play to him. They let him crack on. They just let him get on with it.
I mean, I don't think there's as much improv as they let on. I don't think. I mean, there's certain films, like those comedy films like Will Ferrell and all that, Anchorman and all those. What's the director of? Anyway, doesn't matter. But they do all the improv. But I'm not. I think they'll do a bit of it, but I think it needs to be nailed down. To be fair, because if you're gonna do an aside and talk to the camera, you can't improvise that. Not unless you say, right, I might have an idea during this scene, and I might want to talk to the camera. You can't do that in every scene. You just can't set that up. So
you can set up that at this point he turns to the camera and he says this, what's in the script, but then when they're filming, they can do another couple of versions of it if he thinks it's something funny at the time.
I watched.
He can do two versions of it. He can turn away and then go, right, no, do that again, and he's thought of something else. Yeah,
I watched the Daphne Keane interview, and she was talking about the scenes that she was involved with where Ryan was on set, and she said like he is as funny in real life as he comes across on screen.
I bet.
If not funnier, but she said the improv, it just goes on and on and on and on. He just doesn't stop. Yeah. It's just like he's got different jokes, so they're just clicking in his brain live, and he just does them.
Yeah,
the improv is, from his point of view at least, is very, very real, according to other actors.
It's hit over. It's done very well. It's hit over 1 billion.
Yeah,
already.
Yeah,
like easily.
So I mean,
well, it's number 2 on the top 10 list of box office hits 2024.
When Wolverine swears, he said, he says, "Get the fuck out of my way," or something like that. And when he goes, "Oh," but just to do that, like just to put your hand up at your mouth and go, "Oh,"
brilliant. It was something like there's 119 fucks in the MCU. One of them was Guardians of the Galaxy. The other 118 from Deadpool and Wolverine. which is absolutely brilliant. But no, I think, do you know what? I think everything played in its favor. The facts, it's a perfect film for the perfect time.
Yeah.
Now, if you dig, so, you know, we've had nothing really great since Endgame. It's been pretty abysmal, to be honest, apart from Spider-Man.
Mm-hmm.
And that, arguably, you could rip that plot apart big time.
Oh, yeah, you can. I mean, that was the best of the shit bunch.
Yeah. So having the break, you know, putting up with all this shit for a while, I think you said it, Hog. This film, it was the perfect timing. It landed very well. It was awesome. They let him crack on and do what he needed to do by what looks like very little outside interference. And it's kind of just drawn a line under it. This is the perfect opportunity for Marvel just to go, look, because they literally saying it, multiverse is dead. We tried it, it didn't work. It's just nothing's been as good since Endgame. And they say that in the film. So you're kind of thinking, okay, they've acknowledged it. Like they've let Ryan Reynolds come in and rip the piss out of it. And that's the perfect time to now do your course correction, which is why I don't think they mentioned too much at the latest like SDCC and stuff like that.
Yeah. Well, if you listen to Feige and listen to what he's saying on stage at both of those events, he doesn't say it directly, but he does know that they failed. They failed. That it's just a complete turnaround, and it's going to be going back to the old school. I mean, what was it reported? I know it's only rumor, but it's meant to be like a heavily qualified rumor that they have Disney Marvel have pretty much fired anybody that could be considered on any level an activist.
Yeah. I'd heard that as well.
I have been rooting around for the last 2 or 3 days to try and get some confirmation on that.
Yeah.
The source it come from is a trustworthy source.
Yeah.
But it's still heavy rumor.
Yeah. I just think the film, I don't know, and even if I was to be overly critical, you can rip the plot of that apart, but you just don't care because it's so funny.
Yeah.
And the thing is, I kind of feel like the ridiculous plot was almost a piss take of the bad plots that we've been having anyway, if that makes sense. Because it just because, like, for example, multiverses, he literally rips into the fact of multiverses in the film. Yeah. But the film is a multiverse film.
Yeah.
You know, the anchor being, he literally goes, "What MacGuffin is that?" Do you know what I mean? Like, he literally calls it out of how ridiculous it is. So I can forgive it because they know it. And like the perfect example was the anchor being. Well, what happened to each universe before the anchor being was born? Why didn't it? Do you know what's going on? It doesn't make sense. Like, none of it makes sense, but they know it doesn't make sense. So you can rip the shit out of it, and it works. And I thought the whole way through, from the opening scene of when he's massacring the TVA with the Logan's corpse to bloody NSYNC, I thought that was just straight away. Yeah, okay, yeah, we're in for a treat here. And it just didn't relent all the way through. There was so many good moments. The nice pool guy that hasn't got the healing factor, just around the bloody dog, just all, you know, all the different, but then even just going around at the beginning, going around, like, trying to find a Wolverine. Like, you got the Hulk versus Wolverine bit in there. You had, you know, the big Wolverine on the X and all that sort of stuff. You had loads of like cool references.
Extinction Agenda, which doesn't mean it that. And to be fair, right, that doesn't mean anything to anyone except for really, really hardcore fans.
Yeah.
Of X-Men. I mean, that was from that's probably Extinction Agenda. I could be wrong. It's probably late 90s. It was the cover, but they even got the colouring right.
Yeah.
Even look, when they done the scene, it was like you was looking at the comic cover.
Yeah.
But just for
that minute, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know how many moments that was. Like, that probably wasn't even a minute.
No, yeah,
they went through
seconds.
They went through Dwarf Wolverine.
That was funny. The comic accurate height. That was my favourite one.
Bench.
That was so funny. That was quality. The comic accurate. It just proves, though, that, you know, when Hugh Jackman first got cast, and everyone was ripping the piss, going, "Oh no, he's too tall," and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, I don't know if you two guys remember when Jackman got. I mean, you know, let's all take a breath and think about when Jackman was cast as Wolverine in that first X-Men film, the comic book community was up in arms. No,
of course.
I can't have this bloke. No, he's 6 foot tall. No.
Wolverine's 5'2".
That's it. Yeah, whatever his comic book size. And even at the time, I thought, really? Like, really? They all look. I thought they all looked great, especially Charles Xavier. You know, Anchor. Just have your Ben Kenobi in your film. You know, I think Bryan Singer assembled. I think he. Can we call it the? There's never going to be the perfect casting.
No,
but he weren't far off. I mean, even the guy who was Cyclops.
Yeah,
he was a bland enough, good-looking guy.
Yeah,
but that was the character.
Yeah,
like, there was nothing about the bloke, even in the comics. No one said, "Who's your favorite X-Men?" X-Man. Oh yeah, Cyclops.
Yeah.
No one ever said that.
No.
You'd say Beast or Blob or anyone. Apart from that, it was always. It wasn't Miss Marvel. It was always Marvel Girl. When she had like I don't know if you two want to journey back with me into 1960s comic book history, but Marvel Girl, aka Jean Grey, before she was Phoenix,
right?
Your comics had in the 1960s had a little green miniskirt and a little mask like Wanda.
Yeah,
I like the original Wanda where she had a mask. She had a red one. Well, she had a little green mask and a little mini skirt and a little. Yeah. Anyway, we don't go there. I haven't done
I must admit, the Chris Evans bit threw me when I first saw him. I thought that was brilliant. So I didn't know about that until I saw it. So straight away you think, oh, Captain America.
Yeah. He's gonna.
Okay, cool.
That's it.
That's it. Yeah, he's going to say it. He's going to say it.
That's a bit of a modern.
Bit of a modern take on it. Yeah, it's not the 60s.
But nevertheless, that's nice artwork, to be fair. But
yeah, no, that was brilliant. They got him back as Johnny Storm.
Chris Evans, and when they go, was it Deadpool that goes? Oh, he's going to say it. Go on, say something from Captain America.
Yeah,
that's brilliant. That's brilliant. He just goes, "Flame on."
The Avengers Assembled or something, and he goes, "Flame on." And he goes, "What?"
What? Yeah, exactly.
It was brilliant. I liked the when Deadpool throws him under the bus. He just starts saying all the stuff that he's
yeah.
Oh, what, at the end?
Yeah, then you find out at the end that he did actually say it. Yeah, it's brilliant.
The exact same words, like the dirt boo mouth kind of stuff.
Yeah, oh, it's brilliant, absolutely brilliant. Yeah, but I just thought it landed all. It just didn't relent. It just landed all the way through, and like, you know, the end sequence was done to bloody Madonna. Like the whole thing's just ridiculous.
Yeah,
like the soundtrack was crazy.
My only, just a slight one, and it's not. You know, I did enjoy the film. No,
I've got a slight one.
I've got a little one.
Go on.
No, I just thought I'd let you know.
Yeah, no, that's fine. Yeah.
No, but you knew that already. Both of you have seen it. Come on film night, you've both seen it.
Yeah, that's what these lines are. Just all that squinting.
I think it might have been just, as the actress said to the bishop, it might be a bit too long. I don't know about the ending, you know, like the third act. Don't get me wrong, it didn't spoil it. It really, really didn't. But if I'm gonna, you know, if we're gonna be, it's me being overcritical. Like, come on, to try and balance it out, because it was an absurd movie. It was absurd, but they've made it work. And we're
spoof of the MC. It's a spoof of the MCU. It's like the naked gun of the MCU, isn't it?
It's the naked gun. Yeah, 100%. But it was too long.
Yeah, see, I didn't have a problem with that.
Yeah,
I didn't have a problem with that.
Problem, but I was thinking right towards the end. I thought, you know, just finish it now. Like, do it.
But that's only because you forgot the beginning.
Fair am I?
Yeah.
No, I think if I'm gonna, just there was no need to carry it on that long.
See, my one minor niggle, and when I say minor, I mean it's so minor it's irrelevant.
Slow motion.
It's still stuck in my bloody head.
Go on.
Their version of the Russian, and obviously it's meant to be a variant, but it just looked.
The Russian? No.
The guy in the red and white striped t-shirt. Right, so the Russian, yeah, you remember? You must remember the Russian. Do you remember the Russian from Punisher? No.
Yeah, but
I don't know why. That's what I'm saying. It's such a tiny thing. I don't know why, but it bugged me. It was just like, okay, that I know it's a variant. It just bugged me that it didn't look right. It was just like, oh, you fucking, you know, like you go to the Thomas Jane Punisher, their version of the Russian. That was spot on.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah,
it was as it goes.
And it was just this big. I don't know. No, just didn't. Yeah, it just clicked in my head, and it was. I couldn't get rid of that. But
so, talking about the Thomas Jane Punisher,
yeah,
have we seen the illegal pirated? I shouldn't really be saying this out loud.
No, I've not seen anything illegal or pirated. Well,
I've been told about.
I mean, have you heard?
I've heard. Yes, I've heard.
The bird is a word. About the Daredevil Born Again.
Yes.
Now, I've got to admit, when I saw, I'm just going to say, I saw the pirated. Someone had their phone out and just recorded the trailer.
It's on YouTube. It's on YouTube. So YouTube's
all over the shop. And have you noticed that Disney haven't been very strict in pulling it all down?
No, absolutely not.
In years gone by, that
I'll be back in one moment, chaps.
All right, mate.
Yeah. Years gone by, that would have gone down straight away. There's a reason they've allowed that to stay out there.
Yeah, it almost makes me think that they might have staged it.
Yeah, agreed.
But that's me.
Agreed.
Conspiracy theories.
No, agreed. I think
we've seen a glimpse.
Yeah, and I'm still. I don't know. Like put it this way. So we've spoken about Daredevil and the Netflix show and all that sort of stuff too many times now. We've spoken about it so much, and the consensus has always been they just need to do Daredevil season 4 and just give the Netflix guys a go at cracking on and just do what you got to do. It looks like they are continuing the story.
Yeah,
it looks like they're doing it, and that is a massive positive.
Yeah,
whether they'll
the whole band's back together as well.
Yeah, because originally Foggy and what's her name, Karen Page, them two actors weren't going to be in it. They're back in it. You got you got the guy that played Bullseye. He's back. The only change in cast is Vanessa. Yeah, that's the only change in cast.
Which we can put up with.
Yeah, exactly.
We could have probably put up with a different actor or actress playing Foggy or Karen. To be honest, we could have probably put up with.
But I think everyone wanted Daredevil season 4.
Yes.
And from the looks of that trailer, does it look as good as Netflix? I think we kind of got to let that go. Did it look bad? No, it didn't.
No.
Did it look good? It looked like a step in the right direction. But I'm going to hold off on, obviously, until we see it, because I don't want to get too excited about it.
No,
and it just kicks us in the bollocks again.
Well, they did say, didn't they? They're not trying to be the Netflix show. They have actually come out and said, we are not trying to be the Netflix show. We want to be our own thing. And it, like you just both said, it didn't look shit.
No,
it didn't look shit. I was expecting worse.
Yeah, yes. Oh, exactly that. Yeah.
But then it could be these people that are really good at making a trailer, because they did that with Kingpin.
Yeah. Do you remember? Oh no, what was it? Was it Echo? Where Daredevil was Daredevil in Echo?
Yeah, what
was Echo?
Yeah. That was it.
Echo.
That was the one. Yeah.
Weirdly enough, my thing is that my two biggest concerns is story and fight choreography. Because the Netflix show had such a good in-depth story, and they nailed the story. Disney's storytelling when it comes to Marvel, and like I've just said with Deadpool, I kind of feel like was bad storytelling on purpose. Don't get me wrong, love the film, but the story was weak as hell. But I feel like that was on purpose just to take the piss out of it. But you look at Disney's track record with the rest of what they've done recently, they can't tell a good cohesive story. There's 18 episodes of this.
It's because no one's written a story. That's the whole thing. No one's actually wrote a story. People are writing agendas. So when you write an agenda, you can't fit a story around an agenda. When you write a story,
my concern is that regardless of, and again, got to let the we kind of got to look at this as a separate entity. I think the confusion comes in. Like if this was a totally separate entity, you can have the Daredevil Netflix stuff over here, and you can have the Born Again stuff here, and you can judge it on its own merits. But where you've got the same cast in it, you're always going to draw the comparisons, and you always expect to continue, and you always expect a continuation of that Netflix show. So I think there's no way it's going to stand on its own 2 feet, and because it's a continuation, it's got to stand up to those Netflix shows. It's got to be on that gold pedestal. And I just don't think I think it could be potentially, based off that trailer, it's got the potential to be good. But when you compare it to Netflix, it's going to be the shit season 4. It's going to be like Mando season 1 and 2 versus Mando season 3, isn't it? Like,
no. Let's not draw comparisons to any
No, I'm just talking about a show that falls off the cliff, like the standard from one season to the next.
I tell you what, I would love then if they finish this season of Deadpool with Daredevil with Daredevil's cowl, and they get that Looney Tunes ending.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah,
that would just be like, that would be perfect.
But no, I hope it's going to be good. I hope it's going to be good. I just don't know how they're going to maintain it over 18 episodes when they can't tell a story in 6 episodes. And if it's 18 episodes, and if it's 18 episodes, what are they going to be? Half hour long? So then we're going to end up with the same. You've only told the first act of a story, so then you have to wait a week, and then you get the next, like the second act. Then you wait a week, then you get the third act, and then it's a new story. Do you know what I mean? It's going to feel like half episodes if they're too short.
I think with all the announcements, they are fully aware of all the cock-ups they've made previously now.
And they redid this as well, didn't they?
Everything in production at the moment, whatever stage of production it's in at the moment, but in production at the moment, is going to go ahead, and it's just going to do whatever it was set out to do. Everything moving forward that is just in the talks at the moment is going to be a complete revamp of everything. They're pulling the MCU apart in terms of there's going to be no more tie-ins with TV shows and movies. It's movies. The MCU is going back to it is movies. It is not TV shows. So, they've made that quite clear, which is a good thing, because then it's not going to get oversaturated.
I think so. But then again, and I'm going back to the origins of Disney getting, not even Disney. What's the first Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. TV series? Who did that? That
was on something like some American channel, like AMC or something like that.
Yeah. But nevertheless, that could have. They was skirting around, to America and Thor, and Iron Man, and I just thought, why don't you just drop a cameo in?
They did.
No, this is the first series. The first.
Oh, they did. They did.
Who was the cameo then?
Samuel Jackson.
Yeah,
twice.
You had Samuel Jackson. You had from the Thor world. You had Lady Sif.
Yeah, but he didn't have the big hitters, which is what.
But that's a good thing, though. That's a good thing, though.
That's why
I think that's a good thing. Have the side characters popping up here and there. I don't think you should have the big hitters in there.
Oh well, I disagree. I thought that's why I found it boring. I thought, oh, well, really?
Right.
Oh.
Well, to me, it just like what I saw in that though is if it's like how much faith have they got in their own TV show if they've got to bring in Chris Evans, Captain America, if they've got to bring in this one as that character, if they've got if they're relying on that big character, how much faith have they got in their own show?
Yeah, no,
that's all my mind went to. So I was like, okay, let's get some of the side characters in
Actually, you're spot on. I was probably thinking this is really boring. I want to see Captain America.
Yeah.
I found it really well. That's what I'm getting at.
Yeah.
Oh, show me Chris Evans' chest.
Yeah.
No, like I say, I hope it's going to be good. I'm holding out.
There was nothing. I was waiting for it. I'm looking at these pirated wassets of the trailer. I was waiting for something like a little CGI flip, like where they CGI Daredevil in She Up, and he popped around like Spider-Man, didn't he? Do you remember that?
Yeah.
In the car park, and I thought, all right, I'm waiting for it. I'm gritting everything. I'm clenching. I'm gritting. But to be fair, no. Even Kingpin.
It looked like all practical stuff.
He's back. Kingpin. He hasn't got a silly fucking hat and a cane. It looks, just looks like he's back as well.
Yeah.
He looks like he's enjoying it. And I did see a little headline. I didn't go in depth, but apparently Bernthal reckons, this isn't me talking, this is Bernthal. He reckons it's more violent than the Netflix show.
Well, they've said it's going to be R-rated, haven't they? They said it's going to be R-rated.
Yeah. Well, hopefully it is, and hopefully the choreography stands up to it. And hopefully the fight choreography stands up to it as well, because that was one of the things that really stood out in the Netflix show.
Yeah,
was how good it was.
Yeah. That's where it kind of crossed over with all the kung fu films, where it was a bit balletic in the fight scenes.
Yeah,
the staircase scenes. Like if there was it was either a corridor scene in the first. It was a staircase scene in the second series, and it was that escape from the prison.
Yeah.
Third series. Those we all know they're highly choreographed, but superheroes. He's a blind man that can do that. Well, we've suspended our disbelief enough. So come on, bring it. So I'm gonna be quietly optimistic about that one.
Yeah.
Fingers crossed. And didn't they stop it all and then just rewrite it? Like what they were originally going for.
They've done the test screenings and it was shocking. So they just tore it all up and started again.
Yeah. What was that? What was that in the wake of?
I can't remember.
Writer's strike, wasn't it? They used the writer's strike as an opportunity.
That was part of it, but listen.
Because didn't they have a different Foggy and Karen as well? And then they ended up bringing them back.
Yeah. Oh, the amount of bombs they had at that time. But I'm just trying to nail down like the timeline where they.
I can't remember.
And they cancelled everything. Do you remember when they had that, like you said earlier, Taters, when they had the screens behind them?
Yeah.
And you'd have the timeline for the next 2 years, which I always thought was ridiculous anyway. But why am I looking forward to a film in almost 2 years' time? Like, okay, let me know. Be like the Fantastic Four film. Let me know. Get on with it. Give me a trailer in a year. Like, I don't want to see colour knickers like Sue Storm's actually. That was the wrong example.
Yeah. Because she wouldn't wear any because she's invisible.
Should we all take a moment and then reboot?
Yeah.
But no, I think based off of Deadpool and Wolverine, and that was sort of like the glimmer of hope, drawing a line under all the ridiculous stuff. It's still going to take, I just kind of wish to be more confident in Daredevil that it's a year down the line, because it's still going to be
it's the next 2 years.
Yeah, well, exactly. The course correction that they appear to have done with Deadpool and Wolverine, whether they do that, I mean, we've got Agatha coming out, haven't we? Which just looks, but do you know what I mean? So that there's stuff that's still in the works. Like, I just wish this was a year down the line when that potential course correction would have fully set in. So there's no lingering shit, basically. And it just cracks on and goes out there and smashes it.
There's no floaters.
Exactly.
No, we've got 2 years now to get through this little slate that we've got. Like I say, we got Captain America, Agatha, Ironheart, Thunderbolts, FF, and Daredevil. It's like we got to get through this little slate now, and fingers crossed we get a decent Daredevil TV show, and we get a decent FF movie. If that's all they get out of those 6, I'll be all right with that.
Part of me with the FF film, and I know that people were really ranting and raving about El Pedro.
Yeah, they really don't like Pedro today.
No, and I've got to admit, I don't get it. Don't get me wrong. If they was going to have a trans Invisible Woman who was of Pakistani origin, I would have thought, you know, you're really pushing the level here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You know how they
yeah.
swap, they do this, they do that. But all right, I don't know what racial heritage old Pedro has got, but all right, he's a bit old. He is a bit too old to be the original 60s. They're setting it in the 60s. He is a bit too old. But
it's retro futuristic, isn't it? They're calling it.
Yeah. But the bloke can play anything. And just playing, is it Vanessa Kirby who's playing Sue Storm?
Yeah.
The other two that play, listen, they're all top tier. So with that one, I am quite prepared to let them get on with it. And I think setting it in the 60s is quite a genius move.
Yes, like I said, the retro futuristic point of view, I think, what everyone thought that the year 2000 were going to be in the 60s.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's exactly that. Yeah.
I'm intrigued to see Joseph Quinn's Johnny Storm as well, to be fair.
Yeah.
Because I didn't realise until the other day that that's Eddie out of Stranger Things. I didn't realise that. Yeah. I didn't realise that.
But again, another good actor. So they've assembled a good cast. And I do like the fact they're putting it in the 60s, because I think that way that you can get away with a few things there.
Yeah.
Which in the modern world, you know, all the stuff we've spoken about endlessly over the past couple of years on the hogCASTs.
Yeah.
And what Disney are particularly guilty of. But setting it in the 60s allows them to do certain things. But as long as it doesn't set up Sue to be the leader of the gang, but she is anyway.
Yeah,
she is.
I know what you mean. I know where you're going. Yeah,
the family dynamic of the FF.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she's there. She's the, you know, who's going to argue if you've got any kind of extended family? You know, mum is the one who wears.
Yeah.
We all know that. So as long as they don't go over the top with that, just that tiny. I know I'm only talking about the character dynamic of the film now. I think they've got some interesting ideas there. I'm going to suspend my cynicism for another year, a bit like with Daredevil. I'm going to just, from what I'm seeing and hearing on those two projects, got to admit, nothing has got my spider sense tingling.
No, I think they're the hopeful ones out of the bunch.
Your common sense tingling.
Your common sense? No, that never tingles. I've got no common sense. Otherwise, I wouldn't. Why would I read comics?
Yeah,
and not superhero movies.
Talking of common sense, that brings me nicely onto my next point.
Go on.
What are we all thinking about Robert Downey Jr. as Doom?
Well, when me and you, Liz, when we went to the cinema to see Deadpool, I did say to you, the only way I can see them do it is he's got to be a variant of Tony Stark. You don't think so? No.
No, I hope not.
No, well, I know. That's what I'm saying. I can't. You know, just putting Robert Downey Jr. in another big role like that. It's.
There's going to have to be some sort of reference to. Hang on a minute, you look exactly like Tony Stark.
Yeah.
Come on, like, there's got to be.
Well, one of the ideas been floated. One of the ideas been floated that he is a Tony Stark variant that's being mind controlled by Doctor Doom. And it was just like, I'm not on board with that. I don't. That
no.
That just sounds shit.
And don't get me wrong. There is something that you could potentially work with there in terms of my biggest thing is why announce it? Imagine in the film.
Do you know why they announced it?
But imagine in the film, you've got Doctor Doom going around kicking ass, doing whatever he's doing, and he's fighting Peter Parker, and then all of a sudden the mask comes off.
Do you know why they announced it?
You could imagine that impact it would have, and actually the type of scene you could have with Peter Parker. But why did they announce it?
The reason they announced it is because they had nothing to announce. And that is purely it. I'm being serious. Listen to Feige on both of those events. There is nothing that we don't already know about, i.e. those 6 shows and movies we've already talked about.
Yeah.
That is the only thing that come up. And apparently, from what I'm reading, was it a Variety interview? They haven't even got a script. They know that it's Avengers Doomsday or something along that sort of lines. The Russo brothers are involved, which is thanks to Robert Downey Jr., because he weren't going to do it unless the Russos are in. He got paid a shit ton of money to do 2 movies. And yeah, they had nothing to announce. That's the way I see it, at least. It's like, oh shit, we've got nothing. We've got to pull something out of the bag. I think it was a scramble. I think it was just a last minute scramble to get something moving just to announce, because there's nothing.
Well, in terms of heavy hitters, I mean, we've just had Chris Evans come back as Johnny Storm.
Yeah.
So playing a different character within the MCU.
Yeah,
so
but with Chris Evans, I mean, yeah, he did those first 2 movies as Johnny Storm.
He previously did that outside of the MCU.
Yeah.
So what I'm saying is I could kind of understand it if pre-Iron Man, Robert Downey Jr. played a good Doctor Doom in a Fantastic Four movie or whatever movie that is. I could kind of understand that, because you can just say, oh, by the way, he's coming back as thingy, and you can do the same thing as what they did with Chris Evans. Everyone thinks it's Iron Man, and it's actually no, it's just Doctor Doom. I could kind of get that, but I don't know. I think they're just setting themselves up to fail. Are we just supposed to sort of forget that he was Iron Man? That you've got to reference it somehow. He's either got to be because Downey released that statement, didn't he? He said different mask, same task. So straight away, I'm thinking, what the task is, as Tony Stark was always wanted to do, was put a shield around the world. So is it a variant of Tony Stark?
Right.
And I just kind of think, if you're going down that route, you've got so many good actors that could have played Doctor Doom. Why have you gone for Robert Downey Jr.? He was a staple of the MCU. He's the man that started it, and he died a heroic death, and leave it at that. Yeah. And to bring him back as the bad guy.
You literally just explained why they've got Robert Downey Jr. back.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I know what you're going to say. Yeah, because he is the figurehead. He's the man that started all. Let's get him back.
Bankable.
But as a totally different character, I just don't quite get it. I feel like I'm missing something.
Hog, what was the run of comics where Doom took over Stark's role?
That I don't know.
You don't?
No, that I don't know.
I just remember the picture. I remember the picture on the comic with him holding the mask, like Downey Jr. stood on stage. He was holding the mask. And I remember the comic book, and I remember that picture, but I cannot remember what series it was from.
It was kind of in, if anything, I think for the Fantastic Four, that was in the twilight years where there weren't a lot going on. And I know people are saying, it was dark and we can do this and we can do that, and it's.
What are you thinking?
Right, my personal preference would be for an actor to play a role of Victor Von Doom. All right, he played Iron Man 20 years ago, but now he's being Victor Von Doom. He's not the same. He's not Tony Stark. The bloke's name is Robert. He's an actor. And now he's playing Dr. Doom. It's a bit like watching different actors in different films thinking...
Yeah, but the same continuity. That's the...
Yeah, and that's the problem.
It's the same continuity.
Because it's in that same continuity.
So imagine, don't know, let's pick a show, Game of Thrones. So the first 3 seasons, the bloke that plays Rob Stark.
No, that isn't a fair comparison. No,
it is a fair comparison
no,
because you've got to think of the MCU as one big TV show because it's a continuation.
Yeah, but the MCU, I'm going to sit in the middle of you two here. The MCU has a timeline thing where they're multiversed and there's variants, and Game of Thrones was a linear timeline. So that wouldn't have worked as well.
Yeah, but in terms of a TV show or whatever continuous story you're telling, I've never seen a lead actor leave the show and then just come back as someone totally different. It just doesn't, like you say, it works in the multiverse because you can say it's a variant of Tony Stark.
Yeah.
Or in that universe, that is Victor Von Doom. But then that's when I thought they were going away from the multiverse stuff, and it doesn't appear to be doing that.
Well, again, nobody knows. This is speculation. Everything we're doing now, and everybody is speculating because they have quite clearly said we have no script yet. So there isn't a story. This is fans. This is us making this shit up. We have no clue.
Which is all good. I mean, it's all good shit. But when we first watched Raiders of the Lost Ark, right?
Yep.
We weren't going, oh no, Han Solo wouldn't do that.
It's a totally different IP, though. It's a totally different IP.
There's no way. No. Come on. Same director.
It's a totally different IP.
Film.
What I'm getting at is it's a different IP.
Same character though. But Indiana Jones and Han Solo is literally the same person. But just actors in different times.
Actors do. That's why I was using the TV show as an example.
It's a bit like
because it's the same continuity.
It's a bit like people that think that EastEnders is real life. No, it's not. They're actors. Like, come on, Robert Downey Jr. is an actor. If it isn't going to be Tony Stark, I've got to admit, I'm detached enough from it to think like he's a great actor. And I can see why the higher ups of the office have gone, let's get our RJD back.
It's part of the course correction. We need popularity now.
But yeah, it might be confusing, but people like him. And I know that's what you're saying is like it is.
It's confusing because it's in the same imagine
with your melon because he
a different example. A different example. Imagine Mark Hamill is in the next Star Wars film not playing Luke Skywalker.
That's a good example, actually.
Do you know what I mean? Like it just doesn't. It just and you'd be thinking, hang on a minute, that's Luke Skywalker. No, it's not. There's this other character that it's just someone totally different, but it looks exactly like Luke Skywalker.
But we're still on the same thing of Game of Thrones. That's meant to be a linear timeline with no
but didn't it all
variants
just with Endgame? Didn't it all just end?
Pretty much.
Please just ended there. Oh, come on, give us a new Marvel universe.
In fact, don't give us a Marvel universe.
Just give us individual films.
Give us some single films about a character. If you want to do a trilogy about one character, great. But just make it about one fucking character.
Yeah, no, and I'm on board with that. But let's have some great actors in it, like Robert Downey Jr.
Yeah.
Oh no, he can't do it because he was Iron Man.
If it's something, if it's something separate, like I say, I am intrigued. If it's a variant of Tony Stark, or there's some sort of acknowledgement of, hang on a minute, that because you can get some sort of like emotional connection out of that. Imagine Peter Parker seeing Tony Stark's face, but it's not Tony Stark, it's Doom.
Yeah,
and you can imagine some of the weight that would have in some of those scenes. But if there's just no
that would be just like having Rhodey as Terrence Howard and then replacing him with what's his name, Dom Cheadle.
Oh yeah.
but if there's no,
hang on, you had a different face last time.
But if there's no reference connection, there's no reference or connection, or is not some sort of alternate, and we're just supposed to accept him as Doctor Doom, I'm not quite sure on that. I feel like they've got to explain it in a way. They've got to explain it, whether it's multiverse, whether it's variant or whatever. They've got to explain it in a way. The reason Chris Evans worked in Deadpool was because he previously played that character pre-MCU. That's why that was funny. That's why.
And anything, let's face it, anything in Deadpool, Wolverine was going to just fly. It was going to fly. If it's taking the piss, it was going to fly like an Electroback. I mean,
that was amazing.
Who doesn't want to do play Electra again.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Who doesn't want to see Snipes as Blade? It was pure. I mean, I thought that last Spider-Man movie with the cameos and that was over the top.
Yeah.
But my God, this Deadpool movie, that trumps it.
Yeah.
You can't get enough. You can't get enough fan bait in this film. But I loved it. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. You know, bringing Electra back, and they even made a little dig at Daredevil, didn't they? Did they not?
Yeah.
Ben Affleck was.
Yeah.
Daredevil. There was something, like I say, the quips come so fast and furious that he's unbelievable.
I thought they were brave with what he did with Hugh Jackman. And he said, he keeps his shirt on since he's let himself go a bit since the divorce. He only got divorced last year. Shocking.
Yeah. I mean, there was too much. That was cram packed.
But that is, sorry.
Fair play.
Yeah, exactly. And do you know what? Like the second time I watched it, I just noticed more and more jokes and more references, and there's just more stuff all the way through.
If ever there was a film that warranted a second,
yeah, and I can't wait to do that on a film night with a few beers and a few whiskeys, and
I said I can't remember the last film that I walked out of that I could literally watch again. I'll probably fast forward through the last 15 minutes because I'd like to say, bear with me. I do just think, just to calm everything down and balance everything out. I do think it was too long for the type of film it was. I think it should have been bang, bang, bang a bit more. Anyway, not complaining, just saying.
Yeah.
That last 10 or 15 minutes just did seem to just like trundle a bit, where the rest of the film was crack. It just went. It was at the time went so quick, but it really slowed down that last bit.
No, I see that.
It's end of the day, it doesn't make it the perfect film, but it doesn't make it a shit film.
No, not at all.
And I will definitely watch that again. And a film night. Yes.
Well up for that. Well up for that.
Night, or geekyOlhog film night, or Tater's film night.
Yeah, we've got to do that. It'd be good. It'd be very good.
So there are more. So let's just like have a pause and think. So we've got Deadpool Wolverine that is objectively a hit.
Yeah.
Objectively, earning loads of dough.
Well, it done more than the Marvels.
Yeah.
In 3 days than the Marvel's entire box office run.
But let's not talk about all the crap.
That was funny.
Last big Marvel had was Guardians, wasn't it? Guardians 3. That was their last big hit. Not Sony, Marvel.
Yeah, before that it would have been Spider-Man: No Way Home, and then before that it was and then before that it was Endgame.
Yeah,
I mean, Guardians. I wouldn't necessarily call it a hit, but it did financially better than what they wanted it to do.
Taking our opinions out of it, what I mean is, objectively, Guardians 3 earned a shitload of money.
Yeah,
and since then, nothing they've done has earned anything.
Well, to be fair, take Sony. Sorry, mate. Take Sony out of the equation with No Way Home. Guardians 3 was the only financial success, really.
Yeah.
That's pure Marvel since Endgame.
And
then you've had
Phase 5, was it?
Yeah, it was Phase 5. Yeah, because so all the Phase 4 was financially bad, apart from the Sony bit, and then Phase 5 was essentially just Guardians, and then now this.
Yeah.
Which is crazy, isn't it? You think how much money
Feige, that was one of the things he come out and led with, wasn't it? On the was it the San Diego? I'm sure it was the San Diego Comic-Con. Collectively, the MCU has earned over $30 billion.
That's crazy, isn't it?
And it only cost them 40 to do that.
Yeah. We spent 40 to earn 30. Yeah, that's right.
When I was in business in years gone by, what was the saying?
Oh fuck, Roy's coming.
No, profit. No, what was it? Profit. No, earnings is vanity. profit is sanity. So you can earn £1 million a year. What's your profit?
Yeah.
You're spending £999,999 to earn that. That's vanity. You've earned £1 million quid. You can tell people, oh, look at how much money my films are earning.
Yeah.
But profit is sanity. You can you can make those early Blade films. They didn't cost all of the world.
God, no, nowhere near it.
No.
But they I bet Marvel wish they could return to them days. And I think they need to. They need to just. They do. They need to.
Well, a lot of pre-MCU stuff gets forgotten about.
Yeah,
and that stuff was awesome. That stuff was awesome.
Yeah.
Even the Ben Affleck Daredevil film was all right. Yep. That was good.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it when it came out.
Yeah. We don't want 20 films a year. I don't think any of us, to be fair, if we're honest, we don't want 20 films a year.
No.
No, not at all.
What would you say is the sweet spot for a Marvel? You know, like leading up to Endgame when me and you two were going to the midnight showings and all the rest of it, all the way leading up to Endgame. What was we getting? What, 2 or
3? 3, maybe 4.
Really?
It's probably
that
3.
many? I thought it was
probably
3. I thought it was 2 or 3, not 3 or 4.
Mate, all right. Most 1 every 3 months.
Yeah. It was at least that.
Other than that, it's too much, isn't it?
Well, you think? I remember the Black Panther came out in Feb, Infinity War came out in the April, and then Captain Marvel came out in like September, October time.
Yeah,
and then Endgame, and you also had Ant-Man and the Wasp. So sorry, Ant-Man and the Wasp came out August, and then Captain Marvel was like November, December time, and then you had Endgame the following April. So in the space of like January one year to the April the following year, you had 5 films that came out, which is quite a lot, to be fair. Do you know what I mean? But we were up for all that.
Ant-Man, Wasp. I don't think
that's the thing. You look back on all the shitters that we, the MCU. The people who had Dark World, 4 Dark World, everyone was, oh my God, what a piece of shit. Didn't like that, blah, blah, blah. But you look back on it now and you think, actually,
it's an all right film.
It wasn't as bad.
I never thought that was so bad. I don't think I've been recorded saying that was a bad film, because I thought that was the one that was directed by old the British actor.
That narrows it down.
The 5th.
Kenneth Branagh.
Yeah.
No, he done the first one.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
Which was also good. But Dark World, I didn't think it was that bad.
No, I know.
I'm saying from a critic's point of view, it got panned, didn't it? It's like shit story, and it's like, I watched most of the MCU back then. I enjoyed pretty much everything, not just because I was in it.
Do you think that was? I'll put that in the thumbnail, Tater. But that was in the days before Disney bought them all off. That was before the rise of the Rotten Tomato and how you can manipulate the
critic score.
The critique of your film. You can just manipulate. You can adjust things to
money talks.
Of course, it does. But it does, but only for a certain point, and people will realize you've told me this is good, once, then the next film twice, and then suddenly you think, hold on,
my reputation's on the line here.
This is the 4th film in a row you've told me it's good, like you, and it is absolute crap.
Yeah.
So it don't last for long. That kind of cynical. That cynical manipulation of
talking of really bad audience scores. Can I just jump on saying, have you heard did you read the latest interview with Kathleen Kennedy?
No.
About her exit from Lucasfilm.
Oh, she exited.
She right. So it's like the headline on the little on the interview. What was it? Oh, she's waiting for a win. She's only going to exit when she gets a win. So that little line tells you everything that she really thinks about all this shit that she's been putting out for the last few years.
Oh, I'll exit on a win, which means all she's got is losses.
That's precisely it. She's just admitted in that one little sentence, everything I've done up to now has been shit. I'm waiting for a win, and then I'm going to exit.
What, from Solo onwards?
What has she been involved in?
Was Solo the first one that lost dough?
I think that was the first one that lost money.
Yeah.
Absolutely ridiculous. But you know, in the grand scheme of things, if we're going to be, you know, if we're going to be gracious to old Kathy, which I don't want to do, but let's just bear with me.
Go on.
You know, on your resume of all your hits, listen, on your resume of hits, if you're going to have a big list, you're going to have a big old bogey in there somewhere.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
I don't care who you are. I don't care. Even if you're Spielberg, you're going to have 1941 in your resume. The film that didn't earn you no money. Anyway, I don't care who you are. But also, you've got to have that hit to make you realise, oh, what did I do wrong there? Like, I had the winning streak, but this one didn't work. And it makes you rise to the occasion, and it makes you a better businessman, woman, whatever it is. And you think, right, I'm sharpened now. I'm sharpened to do a better film.
But we know what KK's doing wrong. We know what most of them have been doing wrong.
KK, since Solo, it's like, bosh.
Let me ignore my core audience.
You're looking at your CV, you're thinking, oh my God, what did I do right up there?
Yeah.
Well, where am I going? But they doubled down on anyway. Yeah. But let's not do Star Wars.
And again, it's not listening. No, but it translates into the MCU because it was the same problem. It's not listening to your core audience. Your core audience, unfortunately, but it is reality, is 70% men. That is your core audience. Again, right. So look at the top 10 hits from this year. Yeah, box office hits this year. You had Inside Out 2, family movie. Deadpool,
and that
Wolverine.
Is apparently that is the biggest grossing animated film of all time now.
1.6 billion.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Inside Out 2, you had Deadpool, you had Despicable Me 4, another family movie. Dune Part 2, that's a fanboy movie. Godzilla and Kong. Yeah, that's again, none of this is agenda stuff. Kung Fu Panda 4 was number 6. Bad Boys, Planet of the Apes, Twisters, which has only recently come out, and Quiet Place 2. So that's your top 10 for so far 2024. None of that is agenda stuff.
No.
So
at the end of the day, but again, we've said this before. If you've got a lot of sci-fi, is the perfect place to put a good message in, if you wanted to.
Yeah.
But you do it cleverly, and the biggest issue is the staff they had, the interference they started doing on it. So the producers trying to give creative input, hiring bad writers. It all comes down to the writing. You can still tell a good story.
Yeah.
With whatever you want to throw in there. It's just the fact that the writing was shit.
But the core needs to be the story, and that's what we've said that time and again. The core needs to be the story, and then you can flip around with details. That's fine. But if your core is the agenda, no one's going to go and watch it. Me, Acolyte is proof. It's Sorry,
Marvel.
I didn't mean
so
to.
Marvel.
Marvel. Yeah, back on Marvel. Sorry, it was.
But it is relevant. It is relevant, Taters, to be fair, because so you get an anomaly.
Yeah.
Like Agatha.
Yeah. Right. So there are going to be Agatha fans. There was Black Widow fans. I didn't really like Black Widow. It wasn't movie for me. I still see myself within that 70% core fan base of what Marvel is meant to be doing. Yeah. There are Black Widow fans. There's going to be Agatha fans. There was WandaVision fans. There, these things have fans, but overall, the fandom is 70% of the IP, not the individual.
And to be fair, you can try with, for example, the Disney Plus side of it and the TV shows. you can try. To be fair to them, you can try the Agatha stuff on there, but keep it separate. Yeah, keep it separate. And your main films go for the wider audience. They go for everyone with quality writing, giving the fans what they want, and you'll be on to a winner. Everything they did up to Endgame was that.
So from the two things that we've had, the San Diego Comic-Con and D23, Marvel seem to have got it now.
Yeah.
The appearances, it's like, right, we acknowledge we have fucked it. Now we are actually going to make it right. I mean, they didn't say that specifically. I would have loved Kevin Feige to come out on stage and go, yeah, we fucked it, but we're going to make it right.
Bearing in mind, this is the man that gave us phase 4 and 5. He was so ignorant to start off with. The power got to his head, I think.
Yeah,
and it's going to as well. But he openly said we can do whatever we want.
Yeah.
It's MCU. We can do it. We've built it so big. We can do whatever we want.
We can take a Z-list character.
Yeah. Okay, but then coming out a couple of years later and saying, yeah, we made a mistake.
Yeah.
We did it wrong. And we're going to make that right now. That's a lesson. That's fine. I get it. All right. You can't take away the crap that you put out, but you learned a lesson.
And again, in defence, I mean, I don't know why tonight I'm defending these knobheads, but just to balance it out. But when Feige said we can turn anything into a hit movie, Blade wasn't even a B-list character.
No.
He was a cult character. He was in my pure personal opinion, he was Z-list, but they made it a hit movie franchise from it, what we would call nowadays. They do Iron Man. Iron Man was doing nothing.
Yeah.
He wasn't Marvel's biggest. It's always been Spider-Man.
Yeah. Spider-Man, Cap.
It's Iron Man. Even Captain America, that first film, didn't do anything.
I take that personally.
They kept because what's that? Except
I said I take that personally.
You mentioned the first Captain America film. You mentioned it. You know he's
don't talk about it.
Up.
You don't like talking about it, Taters, do you? You don't like.
It's no.
To be fair, if I was in it, I would be talking about it regularly on my channel. Every video I did, I'll be saying, by the way,
I was in Captain America.
Yeah, I was in. So I can't dish you for that. But
I'm only fucking about, you know that.
Of course I do. But Marvel's heavy hitters, this heavy hitter, Batman. Go on then, Tim Burton, you do that.
Yeah.
Marvel's heavy hitter, Spider-Man. In between all that, I don't, there was no magic potion.
No.
And Blade. And Iron Man wasn't, the character doesn't, until Robert Downey Jr. come on.
Yeah.
And people get Tony Stark, then, and it wasn't until Winter Soldier that people got Captain America.
Yeah.
Thanks to Chris Evans. I mean, a lot to do with Chris Evans as well. I think he brought a lot to that role. You can't underestimate what Robert Downey Jr. and Chris Evans brought to those two.
Yeah.
Those two particular roles. We can't and
Hemsworth as for.
And maybe Hemsworth. I don't think I love him. Don't get me wrong. I love Hemsworth.
I think everything hangs off of Captain America and Iron Man. Yeah.
But and then when Brolin as Thanos, whatever those guys and girls were doing over at Marvel, they nailed the CGI, everything about that whole thing. They literally nailed it from I think we see him in a post-credit scene, didn't we? First of all.
Yeah.
The end of one of the films. But this is an interesting one. So Brolin It's Thanos and Cable.
He just done the voice though, didn't he?
Hmm.
That's all he did was the voice.
No,
Mark Hamill's done.
CGI,
Mark
that was
Hamill's
James
played multiple characters in Star Wars as voices.
Brolin. That was James Brolin. Like, come
Yeah,
on.
but they even referenced Josh Brolin. But they even
sorry.
they even referenced that though in Deadpool 2. He literally calls him Thanos.
Oh, did he?
He literally calls him Thanos.
Again, that's one of those quips that I missed. Like, they're so quick.
Yeah, he literally calls him Thanos.
You're laughing, and you're laughing at one line of dialogue.
Yeah.
And then as you're laughing, they mention another line of dialogue, and then you've missed that, but then you're laughing at the next one, and you're missing one after that. So
yeah, no, it's awesome.
But awesome. What about Venom 3 then?
Okay, it looked funny. It looked like they're laying into the comedic part of what it's meant to be.
Oh, really?
So,
because I really, really, really enjoyed Venom 2.
I know you did. You loved it.
I can't wait for Venom 3. What a load. What a big old pile. You know, like that big dung heap in Jurassic Park where he goes, big load of.
Yeah.
That's some shit.
I can't wait. Yeah, that's a big load. Yeah. Whatever it is he says, thingy.
Yeah, don't look great.
To old Tom Hardy, I hope, and Tom, if you're watching, I hope you got a big load of dough, mate, for signing up to 3 films. Because there's no way, after looking at the first one, which was all right, nothing wrong with that. You know, it was all right.
For what it is, it was okay.
And then you think, oh, I'll do a sequel. And then you look at it and you go, you know.
Yeah.
But there's no way you'd sign on for a third one.
But this one, again, from my eyes, this one looks like it's just like, okay, the second one weren't great. Let's just have a fucking laugh with this one and call it a day. That's what I got from it. But it's I don't know, until it comes out, I don't know. But you know,
it didn't look great
in my point of view, that character shouldn't be without Spider-Man. That's
true. Yeah, that's actually Taters. That is a very pertinent point.
That character should not be without Spider-Man. How you get Venom without Spider-Man just doesn't work up here, at least.
Yeah, the yin and the yang, a bit like Joker and Batman.
Yeah.
But then again, Joker works without Batman in a film, apparently.
Does.
He's got a sequel.
Does he? Because even in the first part, he goes to see his old man. He's meant to be his brother.
He actually sees Bruce as well.
We get philosophical. I don't like it when we get philosophical. It's too late. And the last one, guys, is Kraven.
Kraven the Hunter.
Yeah. I'm intrigued.
What are we thinking?
The first trailer was shit.
Yes.
Yeah.
This trailer was intriguing.
We have spoken in the past about the fact that these films might be good, but the art of the trailer selling it to us is lost.
Yeah.
And I've got to admit, for me, this trailer, and I know what's his name that's playing Kraven.
Yeah.
My God, he's a good actor.
He is a good actor.
And it all looks, and it's R-rated, and it's proper, and they are telling you that this is going to be a violent movie.
Yeah.
Right, okay, right, I'm on board. So it's all coming at me, but I've got to admit, it washes over you, and then when it's gone, you think, right, why am I going to go and see that? But why? Why am I going to go and see that? What is it? Is it? I don't know. I literally don't know. If it was a kind of naturist kind of save the earth vegan, he's a vegan warrior. Yes, come on, Just Stop Oil. Yay, protest film. And he's going to be against anyone who is destroying the rainforest, because Kraven the Hunter and he lives in the jungle. Whatever it is, whatever dynamic they're going to go for. And it's like old Randy back in the day when he said, like, sometimes I watch these trailers and it tells me nothing.
Yeah.
It doesn't sell me the film. And it's all right for me to have been on board with Kraven the Hunter, the character, since like 1970s.
But the trailers just flash.
Yeah. The trailer goes boop, 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 and it's like a word salad.
Yeah. Here's all the good bits from the movie that you're going to love.
Yeah, it just goes la 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 la, and you see him crawling along like a tiger. You know, I'm a tiger. You know, it's like Austin Powers. I'm a tiger. But it's all there because Aaron Taylor Johnson is awesome.
Yeah. See, my first reaction was, and to a degree still is, and we talked about it with the Wolverine thing. You know, Hugh Jackman, 6'5", he's not the same height as Wolverine. I can't. Kraven was a fucking big bloke, and I'm like, I look at Aaron Taylor Johnson, like, you need to be about 3 times the size you are to actually fit this character. But I'll keep that to one side.
That's it. Yeah, it's a detail. It's a detail. Overlook that. Yeah.
So that's like, that was always my first thing. It was like, oh, he's just not big enough. He's not the man for the job. But again, it could be a Hugh Jackman playing Wolverine scenario where he just pulls it out of the bag and it's absolutely awesome. But
yeah, I mean, I say it was all, it looked okay. Did it sell it to me? Sort of a similar thing. I mean, the trailer was a massive improvement on the first trailer.
Yeah,
that trailer was definitely saying heading in the right direction. But I think it's like what you said, Hog. It didn't tell you anything.
No, just flash.
Yeah.
And
I think that's the problem. If it gave us you don't want them to give the story away, but you want them to give you something, right? This is what it's about. Gosh. Okay, there's a bloke that fighting and running and there's going to be some gore. Okay. That's all it is, isn't it?
Is it about a young Kraven the Hunter versus a corporation that wants to destroy the rainforest? I'm up for that.
Yeah.
I'm up for that. Give me a violent version of that. Make him Russian. Which was.
I kind of felt like it was a bit like Rambo in places as well on that trailer.
That was in the original. I picked this up the other day because I haven't got the original comics anymore because they all went. But visually, you know, this kind of stuff, like, I don't know if they're going to do that. I don't know.
Not sure, but then again, did Kraven ever have his own runs of stuff? Because I know he's related to Spider-Man in terms of his villain.
But it's a bit like, I don't know if it was you, Liz, or you, Taters, that said earlier on, like, it's got to be a Spider-Man adjustment.
Yeah, it was Taters, yeah.
And I think Kraven, that is the story that everyone knows, Kraven Hunter. The reason why is because it defines the character against someone else. It defines, you know, the same way as certain stories define a villain against a superhero. You know, I know this is all silly stuff. But Kraven the Hunter on his own, unless you're really going to make it a personal story with him and his dad, which they could do, and the trailer isn't terrible.
The trailer did hint at that.
Yeah, the trailer isn't terrible. So it must be a sign of my old age where I'm weary, and all I want to do is welcome in some good stuff. Kraven is going to be a good Sony movie.
Well, they need to, really, don't they?
Yeah, they've had a few bombs.
Right, if Kraven don't work.
Well, I mean, again, what is it? What is it with the Sony Marvel? It seems to be everything they're doing is a Spider-Man spin-off character.
Yeah,
that's what they've got the rights to.
That's true, I suppose. Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
That's all they can use, but they feed it into what we've spoken about in times gone by. Is they feed it into an algorithm.
Yeah.
instead of giving it to like a script writer or people with ideas and taking a risk.
Yeah.
It's got to be risk, hasn't it? If you're making multi tens of millions.
Do we think though, this course direction, like this course correction, if it is happening, and we still don't know 100% if it is happening. We've had one good movie and look how excited we are. But if it, I still think superhero fatigue is still a thing.
Yeah.
And okay, they've been going downhill. They've hit a diamond in the rough with Deadpool and Wolverine, and everything we're hearing sounds like they're doing a bit of a course correction. But as soon as they correct, say for example, they do correct and it goes well, they pump out the next 3 films that Marvel do, the MCU do, are all hits. We're talking Fantastic Four, we're talking Blade, we're talking Captain America as well. We're talking they're all hits, and it goes into Endgame, and we've got the same highs as what we had before. Not necessarily the same high, but they're all successes. Doomsday and Secret Wars, all successes, and it all does really, really well. Okay, they've learnt lessons now, but when they're back on top and they're back at the pinnacle, are they going to go down the same arrogant route of, well, we know what we can do now?
I hope not. I hope it's a lesson learned,
and also start pumping us with more and more stuff to then make it saturated again.
I don't know if you do know. Ryan Reynolds is currently pushing Marvel to become a Marvel writer, not just obviously Deadpool. Deadpool was his thing, but he wants to actually get onto the bigger projects and actually write more for Marvel, and be involved more in the process of actually writing other movies. I think that could be a good thing.
Could be,
I think.
I just hope
with his
after
team,
all,
his team, him, Sean Levy.
He could be the ginger step kid, couldn't he? Annoying. No one likes him, but he keeps writing hit films.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this is the thing. I just hope if it is a course correction, I just hope it's a lesson learned for life, not just a short-term lesson. Because as soon as they get on top again, oh, we're making money, we're doing well, we're untouchable again. Oh, okay, let's pump out some more stuff. Then you get the saturation. And I just think even potentially where the damage is done, even with a successful course correction, I still don't think they're ever going to reach the same highs again, purely because of the superhero fatigue.
Yeah. Again, for me, it's if they get the right team involved, they could get back to somewhat what they were. Whether they would be able to get back fully, they're still not lost. They still haven't lost that sort of mindset of if we throw loads of money at it, it will work.
Yeah.
And that's apparent just from this Avengers Doomsday, the RDJ and Russo brothers coming back. Yeah.
And they've got to stop that, I think.
Right. So do you know the figures involved?
No.
Right. So to get the Russos back have cost them 80 million for however many movie deals that is. Hang on. RDJ earned more. And nobody knows the figure, but it was significantly more. So we're talking what, 170 million? RDJ's back for the minimum of 2 movies and however many movies the Russo brothers are in. So I still think there's that element of, okay, no, don't just throw money at it and it'll fix it. Again, and then after that news come out, it was like, oh, look, we're sweeping, we're getting rid of all the activist people. You know, those rumors are now flying around. So it's, I don't know. Again, we'd have to wait and see.
Is it the last lease of life before the death of it is what I'm trying to get at?
Possibly.
Yeah. Do you know what?
Possibly.
You just preempted my next question, which was when is the superhero genre craze gonna die? Because cinema
in the next 5 years.
If you look back, and whether it's look at all the genres, detective, western, horror, everyone has their highlights, don't they? Every genre.
And as we've said, horror is the only one that's reinvented itself and been successful throughout.
Yeah, horror is the one, but I think horror gets away with it because do it cheap.
Yeah.
Out of all the other genres, horror. But this might need that might be an interesting discussion to have in the future. Why is it that horror, all right, is cheap, but why is it? Well, perhaps you're all right to be scared. Nevertheless, anyway, it's all cyclical.
Yeah.
So it starts with war films.
Yep.
Detectives before that.
Western. Then we had gangsters.
Yeah.
Then we had cowboys. Then we had buddy cop movies.
Yeah, exactly. Action films of the 90s and all that. And it fades. What was the last? Just take, for example, action movies, right, of the 90s. So when that genre was kind of coming to an end, and we all love it. But what was the last shitter? Because there'll be that last shitter that makes all the other film companies go, oh, we ain't going to do any more action movies. And they move on to the next genre. But I've got to say, the superhero genre is really kind of...
It's gone on a long time.
Yeah.
And considering if you go back to Blade, X-Men, the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man.
We're 25 years in.
Yeah.
25 years into this genre. Yeah, 25 years into
this genre. That's what I'm saying. I'll give it another 5 years.
You said to the bishop.
30 years.
Yeah. And if you look on the other side of the sort of pond with DC, let's look at that for a sec. We've got a whole reboot of the DCEU, and I'm not looking forward to it. I think it's too soon.
Is that actually confirmed that they are actually doing the whole universe thing again?
Yeah.
Right. Wow.
Yeah, and it starts with I can't remember. I think it's Creature Commandos or something.
I thought they had learned their lesson from trying to copy Marvel and not being Marvel.
No, it's Creature Commandos, Superman Legacy, and all that.
Yeah.
See, again, I think
Superman Legacy is just wrapped principal photography. So.
Yeah, and I just think that's too soon. I'm already bored by that. So what I'm saying is like, do you know what I mean? Like, I'm not. It's probably one of the first Superman films I'm not going to go to cinema to watch. I just think it's too soon. I'm just not overly interested. I'm not phased by it at all. No, there's nothing I'm excited about there.
I'm liking the fact.
And I think that's fatigue.
Yeah, it is. Oh, without a doubt. And in all of this, even as much as we're gushing about Deadpool, all three of us are bored to fuck with it.
It's that proverbial sweet corn.
What makes us move our asses?
The best thing about that film is the fact that we knew it was going to take the piss out of everything that we've been taking the piss out of for so long.
Yeah, that was the antidote. That was the like I say, drawing the line underneath it all. But with James Gunn and what he's doing at DC, I can't help thinking he's quietly. Yeah, because we can't say he doesn't get it, can we? After the Guardians of the Galaxy, the first two, did he do the third one as well?
Yeah, did the third one and Suicide Squad on DC side already, isn't he?
Right. So we can't say that James Gunn doesn't get it, and all I see is a few snippets of a photo from the set of Superman or whatever it is he's doing. And there was I saw a picture of Creature Commandos, whatever it is, right? Yeah, that's animated. But nevertheless, the bloke does get it. And I know that Zack Snyder comes into a lot of criticism. And so is James Gunn. But at least the bloke gets it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just think that they've
spotlight. I hope
DC learned their lesson earlier than. Well, I don't think they've necessarily learned their lesson, but they pulled it. They thought, no, we need to redo this and all that sort of stuff. But it still just seems too soon. Yeah. I'm just not bothered by it, and I think that's the thing with the fatigue that I'm saying. We've had one good film with Deadpool, even if they do fully successfully course correct. it's never going to be the same levels of excitement. And I think it's going to, I honestly think it's going to get to the 2 Avengers films and it's just going to die. I really do. I really do. So I just think people are bored of it now. It's gone on for too long.
No, I'll give it 5 years and it's gone. It's finished.
Yeah. It's a bit like, reminds me of when Eastwood come out with Unforgiven.
Yeah.
And you think that the Western genre, you think that, and this is late 90s now.
Yeah. No,
Unforgiven.
Yeah.
And suddenly Clint Eastwood has done a Western.
Yeah. But again, it's like, so what I was saying earlier, you know, we went through the late 80s, early 90s, and it was all buddy cop movies. You know, had Lethal Weapon, you had this one, you had that one. It was all the same sort of, well, we've just had Bad Boys 4. That's just popped up out of the woodwork. I mean, it's on the list. It's in the top 10. It might not be number 1, but it's in the top 10.
Oh, fair enough.
Yeah. So, but that's what I'm saying. It's the same similar thing you saying, like, you know, Clint Eastwood coming out in the middle of a completely different genre and bringing out.
Essentially, to be fair, Deadpool and Wolverine's a buddy movie. Really, when you think about it.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Family movie, isn't it? Doesn't he coin it as a family movie?
Where else would I get a comparison of Clint Eastwood's to Bad Boys 4? I don't know. Taters, thanks for that.
That's all right, mate. I knew you were missing that in your life.
I'll take that to my grave. That, yeah, I give you Unforgiven. You give me.
You'll forget it by then. Don't worry.
Who?
Exactly.
What film was that? Where am I? What planet am I on? You tell me, Liz.
I don't think you should know.
No, I think we've done the full gamut.
So we saying that it's a step in the right direction, but we're still skeptical.
Still skeptical.
Is that the sum up?
Still skeptical. That hope is like just starting to appear. But
they're good at this, though, aren't they? They give us a bit of hope.
Oh,
and
yeah.
They kick us in the bollocks.
Yeah.
That's what they do to us every time. It's like we're eunuch. We need to be eunuch now, don't we?
I think we've gone from a kick. I think we've gone from a kick to more of a sort of like they're just getting ready. They might just do the.
but it just shows, isn't it? We have been abused by Marvel.
We've been to the same clubs, Taters.
For the last 4 years, we've been abused by Marvel. We have one good film. We're like, oh, step in the right direction. Oh, we're almost excited again. But it's like, realistically, I think there's still a lot of skepticism there.
That's quite interesting, Liz. It is a form of abuse, isn't it? When you literally you're sucked in, aren't you? And you think, oh yeah, this is going to be great. Come on.
And the hopes reignited.
We aren't talking about Star Wars tonight, and it's Marvel, but nevertheless, the same goes for that as with the Marvel side.
Yeah.
You know, we're just going, oh, hello. Have you got a new series or film for me? And they go, yeah.
Is it good?
You go, is it good? They go, yeah. They go, thank you. And then they go, it's like, phew.
Shocking.
I didn't want to end this. Actually, I didn't want to end this hogCAST on such a depressing tone because we loved Deadpool. Wolverine.
We love Deadpool Wolverine.
And we are we all agreeing it drew that line under?
Yeah.
Whatever we've got to up to now.
Stop the phases. That's the stop phasing anything. Just don't call it a phase and just do a few movies and leave it at that.
Yeah, Taters, actually, let's talk about that a little bit before.
Okay.
Because that's a good point. Why phases?
Yeah.
You've done a Fantastic Four film that's set in the 60s. Cool. Yep. You've done a Daredevil series that's set after the Netflix show that's set in New York. We don't know when, we don't know where. It's nothing to do with the MCC or XEU. Other than that, it could be the dawning of a new era, as the Specials once sung. It could be, couldn't it? It could.
Well, again, if they allow it to be,
let's hope.
Yeah.
Don't make it a phase.
Yeah, like, stop doing. Yeah, do the phases are done. That should be part of the lesson they've learned from the last 2 phases that they've completely fucked. So yeah,
I think you nailed something there. Actually, fuck. What you basically said was fuck the phases and just get on with doing it.
Yeah,
I'll use that in the thumbnail.
That's fine. 10%.
I'll take the credit. No, I'll take the credit. All right, I'll give you 90p. You're on 20%. You're on 10%.
That makes me a professional now, doesn't it? If I'm earning.
Yay, that makes us influencers. Yeah.
God, how bad would the world be? Oh my God.
Imagine that. geekyOlhog influencer. Oh, brilliant. That was a proper old school.
It was.
Yeah, it was nice. It was good.
That was, guys. That was. And
we'll get Amber back on the next one.
Yes, and I think Randy.
Oh, that would be good. Get Randy pop in for a little bit and say hello.
Randy's popped up. I think he's writing for. I'm going to message him, and I think he's writing. He's doing some comic book writing.
Good stuff.
Nice.
Yes. So
it'd be good to see you again, Randy. Hopefully you'll watch it.
Yeah, it'd be really good.
I don't think so. Anyway,
you don't think he's watching, or you don't think it'd be good to see him again? Oh, right.
So I'll send him a WhatsApp anyway. He'll watch the ones he's in. It's us, like, you know, if we're not in it, we're not going to watch it, are we? Let's be honest. Right. Freeze frame.
Freeze frame.